Here we are again, and we're going to take a break for just a second. And all throughout the podcast, we're going to be playing this very first song by my co-host, Trish.
So what do you need to change about that? You need to focus. So what do you need to change about that? You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, but never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
That's what we're going to be hearing throughout today's podcast. Good morning, Trish, and happy finally Friday. It really is.
Good morning. Good morning.
Sorry about the technical difficulty. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. By the way, guys, we're on YouTube, Instagram, and we're live on Facebook. We stream everywhere. This year we challenged ourselves, both Trish and I. And Trish, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for challenging me. Thank you for your challenge. For your challenge made me challenge and reflect on myself. For 3 years, we have told our stories. For 3 years, you have heard our stories. The music, thanks to Trish, that you hear, helps us to reflect. And as her and I talked about this yesterday, capturing all the right things and knowing that we were asking all the right challenge questions. What about you guys? Do you accept the challenge of being a better you? Knowing more than you did the day before last week, before last month, before even last hour, if you've been awake long enough. Trish, what do you think about our new logos? I'd asked her this before, and I like everything raw. What do you think, Trish? Honestly.
First of all, wow. I don't think wow describes how I think it looks. It looks amazing, especially the lion. It looks very surreal. Like wow. Like
Yeah.
that's amazing.
My nephew drew that. He is an artist. And he's under the weather. And we will get his interview sometime in the nearest couple weeks, because it would have been the interview today, because I knew that on the last Friday of the year, I anxiously await it. Did I ever show you this lion before, Trish?
No, I was waiting.
Yeah, because I thought I showed you and I was like dying to show you. And I kept a whole secret. I kept a whole secret. So for family and friends out there, don't ever say I can't keep a secret, because I held on to the secret because I felt that this was oh so special. Usually we challenge ourselves with smaller things, and coming on board for Vibe Talk led us into 3 years. Happy anniversary. By the way, we're still celebrating. You guys know I like to have fun. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know I love to have fun. Good fun, always. And Trisha and I had a very in-depth conversation yesterday about how we felt. And Trish, what did you say? Because it's so pointed. This is going to really lay home why we have come to Vibe Talk.
I said that we still have the same message and has the same meaning, but we are also developing in the message and in the meaning with Vibe Talk.
Thank you, Trish. And her and I were the same mind, thinking about the same thing. If you've noticed, if you've been with us for any length of time, our lion got deeper. Did you notice that, Trish?
Yes, I noticed.
Yeah. You know, I challenged my nephew by asking him to draw a lion for me. And I wanted a lion that only his eyes could see, that he could draw from. I know that he can draw. He's 12. Beautifully draws. He drew that. And I appreciated it so much. I appreciated the fact that he used green. Little did I think about it until I realized that mental and emotional health signifies not green as being ill or sick, but green as awareness for mental health month. Mental health awareness. How did he know? So it all came together, and as I sat and pondered over what was I going to do for a new design, what was I going to do? And by the way, this lion is not to be copyrighted. I absolutely forbid it, so don't even try it. Thank you. We want you to come to our Vibe Talk page. By the way, if before the year's ending in a few days, we can just get one more person, 3 years is 300 people. How did we know? We're just one person away from that. We don't want you to like us because I ask you to like us. We want you to come on in. We want you to listen to the latest podcast. By the way, you can ask Google. If you would be kind enough, please, Trish, to put in all the information. We include all of our information right on this podcast. We are here to stay. We're here to stay. And as I have told you guys, we never know what the next year, even the next moment, is going to bring. But here's what we know so far. Vibe Talk has been a blessing to myself. What about you, Trish?
It's been a blessing to me as well.
Thank you. We don't want you to say what we want to hear. We want you to speak from the heart. By the way, our lines are open. We are putting in information for you guys always. Our direct connect is not a personal number. It is been our number for Vibe Talk. 661-503-8993. Our question: what challenges have you accepted? We want to hear from you. 661-503-8993. You can even text us or leave us a voicemail. Let us know where you're from. We're going to be right back with our very special, finally, Friday for the year challenge accepted. We're going to be right back.
So what do you need to change about that? You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help you? Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, but never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
We're back, and we're talking about challenges accepted, and also talking about challenging situations. Or what challenges have you faced? You know, 2023, I don't know about you guys, but I've accepted the challenge to face my lion. Facing your lions is saying that you're facing your challenges. Doesn't matter how you're facing them, as long as you are doing it. And if you feel like you're doing it, then I want you to embrace that. Whatever it is, if it's a move that you need to make, even if it's something as simple as a very small decision that could really have big life-changing impact. We want you to think about your challenges. There are none too small, none too great. But as you look back on your 2023 year, how's it going for you? you feel challenged? Because this is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see you challenge yourself as I am with you right on this journey with you. Trish and I also talked about that yesterday, about being on this journey to heal something. Maybe you're accepting the challenge of healing your broken heart. Maybe you're challenging yourself to break up with something, someone, or some place. Maybe you right now are feeling broken. Things that are broken, how many times have we challenged ourselves to fix it, repair it, make improvement? I think we've all done that somewhere, somehow. How many times have you broken something in your home and you didn't throw it out? Especially if you value that something. You decided to glue it. You decided to tape it. You decided to find a solution to the brokenness. I think it's safe to say that we've all challenged ourselves right there in those moments to think, I can fix this. Now, when I say I can fix this, I'm not talking about you fixing other people. We're talking about yourself. Because you can't fix anybody. As if they were a thing that is not in your power. You know, it's not like you got a broken vacuum and you say, let me fix this. That you challenge yourself. But to fix another person, what's the solution to the other person? They must fix first themselves. See, they must think just like we did, to think in the moment that we needed to fix something around the house to fix themselves. And let me tell you, how many appliances have shouted back at you to say, leave me alone, I don't want to be fixed. Many of you would agree you've never had that experience. But now with a person, you may have had that experience that they just didn't want to be fixed because they were not ready to challenge their brokenness. Some people who are broken haven't had awareness, self-awareness, to realize, hey, I'm broken. I want you to look at this analogy to see how you feel about that. If you've ever played with a Barbie doll, and I use toys because I always think about the childhood. A lot of where we start from is our childhood. So I'm going to speak in Barbie terms. Barbie and Ken, for those of you who like Ken too. How many times, and Trisha, I'll ask you this too, if you played with your Barbies, did Barbie have a broken arm? The arm came right out of its joint. Or a broken leg, or a Ken doll, broken arm, broken leg. Can you relate, Trish?
Yes, I most certainly can.
Yeah. And what did we try to do? Now, everybody has a different experience. But what was our first thought when we saw Barbie had the broken arm or broken leg, or Kendall had the broken leg and broken arm?
To put it back on.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't think first to throw it away because it was no good. It was trash. But you had, some of you have broken pieces, and you have not accepted the challenge of fixing it, trying to remedy it. You didn't take the steps that you would have, or that you did for your Barbie or Ken dolls. Why did you take that step to begin with? Because you valued that toy. See, we humans, we must accept the assignment and understand the assignment that we are humans, not to be toyed with. Come a little closer. I said we are human, not to be toyed with. How many of you understand that assignment? And how do you understand it, Trish? And by the way, we're phone calls, lines are open.
I understand it like I matter, and the fact that I matter, I should focus on myself more and understand myself more. It's not a joke when I'm hurting or when I feel some sort of negative feeling. I shouldn't dismiss it like it's a game, or saying, oh, you go first, or it's not my turn. I don't want to go. I'm scared. I should treat it as, let me address it.
You know, you said the key word, scared. When we think about scared, let's think about that. Throughout the years, we've been emotionally intelligent. We've been able to regulate our emotion as we understood them. You cannot regulate if you don't understand. Let's say good morning to our audience joining us. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Accepting Challenges. Where are you listening in from? And thank you so much, Tam. Thank you for joining us. Where are you listening in from? And what is our question for today? New Mexico. Thank you for joining us. What is our question for today, Trish? Thank you so much. Our question for today, Trish, are you here?
I'm here. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Our question is, what challenges have you faced? All of us have had challenges. Thank you so much. We are live on Vibe Talk on Facebook. Come on over if you care to join our page. That way you won't miss for 2024 when we come on. We are streaming everywhere. Look for us everywhere. And our YouTube page is up and running. Thank you, Trish, for all of your hard work on our YouTube page. And we're asking that question. Tam, have you faced any challenges for the year? And if so, how are you doing with it? What challenges have you faced? Yes, you say. What challenges have you faced, if you're okay to talk about it? Now, join in our conversation. We're still going to be doing that throughout all of 2024. If you want to know what we're all about and start from the beginning, go check out our podcast. Go check them out. They're always recorded. And thank you. So let's talk about the word scared. What is another word for scared when we think about understanding the assignment of challenges accepted and how we view them? Some of us are scared to talk about our feelings when we are aware of what's going on. You know, we understand. I use the Barbie and Ken analogy, and Trish got it. Placing value upon yourself. You said that you had a lot to do with life and a crush. Is that a crush on someone? And how are you doing now in this present moment? Okay, so you have a crush on someone. How has that been challenging for you? I love that. How is that? Because you know what? There's nothing too big and nothing too small to talk about. Let's get into that. We're going to take a commercial break, and you'll be hearing our very first song. Thanks to Trish. Happy anniversary to this song. Trish was the mastermind behind this beautiful art. Let's get to it. We'll be right back. Sorry, guys. We'll be right back.
Never doing anything.
I'm trying.
So what do you need to change about that? You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help? Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
Okay, we're back. And we're talking about challenging ourselves. Challenge accepted. Who accepts the challenge? Because it's one thing to say you accept the challenge, but it's another thing to be challenged. How are we challenging ourselves to be better than we were yesterday? Tam says she has a crush, and you're not a thing yet, and you want it to be, and you're hoping that you'll be together soon. Thank you for that. See, because even when you like somebody and you haven't got that far to say you like somebody, where is that stemming from? May I ask you? Because sometimes when we have a crush on people, someone, we don't tell them. And guess what? They'll never know. So what makes us, what inside of us makes us not be aware that that's normal to have a crush? My crush was on John Travolta. I never got to tell him. And to this day, that is still my crush. Okay, so back to business. We love to laugh around here. Let's challenge ourselves, whatever it is. How many of you have to challenge yourself with something that you feel afraid of? Good morning. Lorenzo has joined our audience. Good morning. New Mexico is in the house. How many of us feel scared to challenge ourselves? And we're also asking the question, what are other words for feeling scared? Can you guys think of any words for feeling scared?
Afraid.
Yeah, afraid. Yeah, let's think about that. Good morning, and thank you for calling or being here in our audience. Where are you listening in from? And thank you for joining us on the last Friday of 2024. Fear challenges us. How so? Because when you're afraid of something, you're stifled or stunted. What are you getting tired of? Let's talk about that. What are you tired of? Wyoming is in the house. Thank you, Wyoming, for joining us. What challenges have you faced is our question. And wow, we're getting a lot of hearts today. Thank you. Thank you. Look at that. Can you see that, Trish?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We are one person away from 300 for 3 years. Before the month is out, I would love to see that 300. So go on over and click like on our Facebook page. You could be the 300 person. So, fear challenges us. And I asked the question, what are you tired of? And you're physically tired. Okay. So when you're physically tired, you're aware of that. And are you usually an early riser? Because I'm an early riser. Like really. I get up at 4, dark 30 a.m. California time. So I can understand the challenge of waking up early. When we wake up early, what are we doing with that time? How do we challenge ourselves? Do we just get up and start doing things, or do we challenge ourselves to get the needed sleep? Or even challenging ourselves the night before? What do we do? Okay. So how do you challenge yourself to sleep more? When you need sleep more, when you challenge yourself. Usually I'm always on the go, but I've accepted the challenge when I'm tired. Like if I've run the day before, I need to take a day and just rest. Our audience member from Wyoming says, I wake up and get ready for work. So what do you do to prepare for your wake up? Because some of us just jump straight out of bed. I don't know, but I can't just get straight out of the bed. I gotta marinate for a moment. I used to be able to just get right up, especially on Saturday morning when I was younger and knew I didn't have school. Oh boy, my mom didn't have to wake me up. I was up and at 'em on Saturday because I knew it was Saturday. But how many of you are able to just jump straight up out of the bed? Okay. Very good. Thank you. Our audience member from Wyoming says their cat helps them to wake up, and she wakes up when she hears the alarm. Good cat call. Nice, nice. We're talking about challenging ourselves. What does it mean to accept the challenge? We're going to be right back to answer that question. Keep your comments coming and conversations coming. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break.
You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help? Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, but never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
We're back. And thank you for joining our very special podcast on this finally Friday. Stay with us. The comment from our audience member from Wyoming says they usually sit right up. Challenge accepted when we're asking, do you accept the challenge? What that means is that you're ready and willing. You are ready to tackle it. It is before you, and you are willing to do your best. How do you respond? Because life is more than just waking up. If you have woken up today, that's great. Embrace that. But now that you're awake, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to challenge yourself for this day? Because someone didn't get the opportunity to respond to the call to challenge yourself. How so? You said our audience members talking, and they're so important. All people that come in and talk, we love this. You say that you see days differently than most people. How so? And in comparison to what? Let's think about that. And Trish, you may step in at any time, my dear. So how do you respond to any challenge? You know, I always say social media puts out challenges. And sad to say that many of the challenges that young people have taken, some older too, it has cost them greatly. But now I ask you, do you accept the challenge of living your best life? So you stated that you see days differently. How so? Because you say you don't see challenges ahead of you, you simply do what you need to do. So what does that mean to you? Are you saying, and I'm asking a question, are you saying that you don't have any challenges? You have no challenges? Some people just getting up is a challenge for them. What are you challenged with, Trish?
I'm challenged with school. That's what I'm challenged with. And before I started college, I didn't have issues like getting up in the morning. I would just get right up. But when I started college, it was like I need my sleep. I need my rest. I need my overtime to go to sleep. So that's my challenge, college and actually taking time to get some needed rest.
Yeah. And my challenge is not dismissing my feelings, saying, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Because some days it's not okay. And if I learn self-awareness about that, I will set boundaries between me, they, them, and it. Setting boundaries. So accepting challenges, how do you respond? Because, challenges are going to come before you. Did I awaken you to your awareness? Whether you believe it or not, and that's why we call this podcast Facing Your Lions. Because you say, well, I've never had to be in a den with a lion. It's a good thing. But life can be like that. Life can be so unbearable. If you're ready to take on the world, great for you. Because you're one in a million that can do that. How do we accept the challenge of life? That's what we're talking about. We talk about peace. As much as we say that we want peace in life, I was talking to my younger son yesterday and we were talking about godly peace. Peace is the acceptance of none disturbance in word or deed. And sometimes when we respond, we say we want peace, but does our words speak peace? I literally yesterday had to pray because sometimes your peace is challenged. That is, if you let it, they, them disturb it. Set your boundaries and accept that challenge. So you say you've never experienced anxiety. What have you experienced in life? Let's start with that, because that's a factor here. Have you ever experienced anything hard in life? A death, a sickness of a loved one? Sometimes we have to think about others and not just ourselves. We've been able to bring people together by our reels. People have been touched by them. If you've never suffered, I'm asking that you understand. Go and look at some of the children on commercials that have no food. We can drive up to McDonald's, walk to McDonald's. I say that because McDonald's is a popular place. How do we feel about that? No big deal. Because sometimes we need to put ourselves in other people's shoes. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Thank you for opening up. You say you grew up with two abusive stepfathers. So you've suffered something, or did you? Did you feel something from the abuse that you had? So you were bullied. You were bullied. Because I want you to notice the transition as I began talking. And I love this work, and this is what we do with people. It says, you said you don't see challenges, and that's good. And I asked you, had you ever been challenged? And you said you usually claim to be overly capable. And then I love this conversation. And then you started, as we continued to show you that we're vulnerable too. You said you grew up with 2 abusive parents. You said despite what happened, my question is, did you feel some kind of way about that? You appreciate it, but did you feel that way? Going back to our reels, if you haven't, Trish, can you put the Vibe Talk reel link in for them? Go and challenge yourself to hear the message behind the music. You know, even the reels, and I'm sure all of us are affected by these reels that we see on Instagram and Facebook, REELS. We're all affected by it. It is not our experience, but we get next to the emotion. We understand the emotion. I call that understanding the assignment. You said, despite what happened, you appreciate it. You said, you said you deserved it. Why did you think you deserved it? Have you challenged yourself to know that that's not your fault? It is not your fault. And that's what I want to challenge you, because right there you just told me you deserve that. And how could a child deserve that? Yeah. How did you come to understand that it wasn't your fault? You said it wasn't until you accepted it. And let me get this right and correct me, because I don't, as a life coach, I don't like to put words into people's mouths, so correct me. Am I to understand that you're saying you accepted it, or you understand that it wasn't your fault, and you realize that it made me who you are today? How does that make you who you are today? Abuse. And what we're trying to do is wanting you to talk, if you're comfortable. You said you had to accept people and what they do. Now yourself, because you have the power to accept yourself. How do you accept yourself? You say you get up and do what you have to do. But does that mean that when you get up with what you have to do, you just encompass all and have no feelings? Because I challenge you, and I'm challenging you right now, and you're accepting the challenge. Little do you realize, because you said you realized it wasn't your fault. How did you come to that realization? Was that an aha moment for you right now? Or did you get help to understand the abuse? The abuse. Okay. So, Vibe Talk is here to help you to understand you, get connected to you. How are you connecting to yourself? Because some people, when they're at their loneliest, they're not connected to themselves. Okay. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And Trish, we're going to get right into your Trish's treasures in just one moment. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break. Stay with us for Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Change about that. You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help? Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, but never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
We're back. And thank you for joining us on this last Friday of 2023. I said that the last time we were here. My mistake. Our audience member says they're a mentor to a group of young men. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So, how do we accept challenge? We talked about peace. How many of you have made plans, making plans when you accept a challenge? We're talking about within yourself. We think about transitioning through life's experience. And I'm going to talk about something that I know that you all have experienced. Just about everyone that I've ever talked to in my adult life has lost someone in death. That is a life-altering experience. How many of you agree with that? That experience a loss of a loved one. Just literal death. We're going to talk about that, but that's going to be symbolic for a lot of things when we think about a death. You know, because death can happen in a metaphoric way. Death can happen when you break up in a relationship. Death can happen when your kid goes off to college or moves out of the house. It's a breakup. It's a life-altering change. Good or challenging? That's a statement. So, how do we get through? How do we move on? How do we transform? Because you know, people will say the darndest thing if you have lost someone. Again, I want you to think about all the spectrums of losing someone, not just in someone dying a literal death. How do you feel if you've lost a pet? You know that too well. How we respond is very imperative. How you're going to respond to the challenges that you're facing, because you will face lions in your life. Don't let anyone tell you differently. You will face them. And you can put up a wall and say, oh, you never face challenges. We all face challenges. Facing challenges. It is going to be how you interpret it. So your sister passed away. And how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? And what was that quote, if you care to share it? How you respond, choosing peace, making a plan. Be determined to say no to anything that will try to defeat you, bring you down, knock you down, throw you down, make you sit down. I said, be determined to say no to any defeat in your life. What looks like defeat could look very much like success. That is, if you keep trying. Some of us get tired very easily. During the COVID, we were tired of being shut in, but we found ways not to be defeated. One of the ways I found was Vibe Talk 3 years ago. So you lost your sister. That's understandable. So now when you think about change, challenges, you get to choose if it's going to defeat you or not. You get to choose and determine your life and how it will impact you or not. How many of us have ever doubted in our lives? Anybody ever doubted? You look at something and you say, anybody?
I have. I do that a lot, actually.
And how are you doing with that now?
I'm still working on it. Doubting cripples me a lot from doing the things that I know I have potential to do. I'm still working on it, honestly.
But you've gotten better. Through your work with me, you've gotten better, and your music speaks volume. You're like I say, people are a piece of work. You are an art project, literally. And you're being a masterpiece at the work that you're doing. It's beautiful, the art that I see within you, the art of yourself. So when you see defeat and you're staring that lion in the face of challenges, say no. You're going to face a lot of change, unexpected changes. I used to think if anything goes wrong, that means everything else is going downhill. But I changed that and I turned it around. Move through change with purpose, that is, with being fearless. See, we talked about fearful, but be fearless. And that is what Vibe Talk is going to bring you for the year 2024. We're live, guys. If you haven't already been to our Facebook pages or our YouTube pages, the information is included in today's podcast. Please go there. We are one person away from 300. Let's make that 300 for 3 years that we've been on air. We're going to be right back, and when we come back, we're going to hear from Trisha's Treasures. We're going to hear from Trisha's Treasures. We'll be right back.
We don't become blind to everything around us, but we incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help? Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
We're back. And thank you so much. My condolences to you regarding your sister. I lost a brother, and um, I know how it feels to lose a sibling. The quote, and thank you for sharing it. You said the quote speaks about how everything your sister has ever done still exists, and everything she has ever been or has affected, it is all still here. And I say to you, I hope that those are all speaking volumes of goodness. Let's challenge ourselves throughout the year as we have last year. Let's make it another year to do great things, to hear great stories, to be inspired, motivated, and always staying positive, even in the face of our lions. I dare you to accept the challenge. Will you? Is that a statement or a question? I'll leave it to you. I'm going to turn it over to Trish's Treasures. Trish?
The title of the podcast today actually made me when I was when I first saw Vibe Talk, and I was thinking, am I going to stick with this, or am I going to accept the challenge and keep working on me, keep focusing on me, and getting to where I need to be mentally? And because I accepted that challenge, I am good place right now with my. I am very glad to say that I'm in a good place. And did you say something?
Yeah, the audience didn't hear you. Repeat that.
I was saying that I am at a good place with myself now, and I am very blessed and thankful for having this journey, because it has taught me things, and it taught me how to stay true to who I am, which is important when you are working on yourself, and to be honest with me and who I see in the mirror. And it starts with me.
Are you background feedback? Are you finished? Oh, I don't want to interrupt you. Hello? Okay. Thank you for that. I don't know if you were done or not. From time to time, we have um, technical difficulty, and when Trish gets back on, can you hear me, Trish? We will hear from her so that she can finish what she was saying. I want to take the time out to say thank you. I feel that thank you cannot be said enough. We're not saying that enough in appreciation for all that we have had in 2023. I'm thankful I'm still here. Um, I never take that for granted. Every day is a purposeful life for me, and I keep it that way. My niece summed it up very well by saying, "You live life, and you always live it well." And that's what I wish for all of you, including each one of my families. For those who are talking and those who are not, I'm still going to wish you well. No harm, no attend, no offense, and no foul. To my kids, I wish all of those good things. And to you, thank you for teaching me and helping me to be determined. And I hope that Vibe Talk has been the podcast for you, because we know that there are thousands out there. I hope when you say that you like us and you send us hearts, that your hearts are truly coming from your heart, and that you really do like and follow our page. Stay connected to yourself. Stay connected to Vibe Talk, because if you think that 2023 was really impactful, wait until you see 2024. I want to thank my nephew Jezreel for the lion. Um, just the creative mind of his lion was so awesome. Just awesome. Thank you. We are wishing you a well recovery and feel better soon. Don't forget about Saturday night. Saturday night, we are on usually for Vibe Talk After Dark. That's where we do music, dedication, inspiration. You want to call in and request a song. We do that per Facebook allowing us. It's Vibe Talk Facing the Lion on Saturday night. Yeah. And if you haven't already listened to it, it is now part of our family. It is affiliated with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast morning show. And you still get the positive vibe. You still get to talk. And it's about what you want to talk about. And we keep it light. So join us there. Thank you so much to our audience from New Mexico and Wyoming. Thank you so much. We're asking you to accept the challenge, and we're saying to you, will you? Our very final question for this finally Friday of 2023 is, what did you learn and discover in this podcast today? And how did it make you feel? I gotta tell you, being up all night doing this design, our new design, you're looking at our new design. And so when you come back, or when you see us, you're going to see green. Green represents Mental Health Month. Every day is a day to be aware of that. Seriously, take care of your mental health. We have a podcast that really disclaims any kind of weirdness, any kind of stigma, because your health is your health. But in order for you to function properly, you must take care of your mental and emotional health. We heard some of you say how tired you were, how tired you are. Take care of that. If you are tired, get plenty of rest. Have a day of self-care. Do something that you like to do. That's important for you to function properly. Take time out, reflect, and it helped me today to learn not to dismiss myself. Because there are days I'm not okay. I'm tired. There are days when I am trying to just get through life. And that's okay. You're hearing it from your wellness coach. This Vibe Talk has been very impactful for me. And I thank you for tuning in. Trish, what did you learn and discover about yourself, and how did it make you feel? Anybody can answer this question as you're listening to it. It's going to be put on our YouTube page right after today. It's going to be also live recorded on Facebook. And Trish, I turn it to you.
I learned that today I learned that taking initiative to my wellness was the best decision that I've made. And I'm glad that I'm still on the journey of still working on me. And my experience here today was very motivating because we love interacting with you guys, and I love hearing your stories and how you overcome your challenges.
And we want to tell you guys too that no problem, no our challenge. Think of things in your life as challenges. You know, we can face the lion in a literal way. If Daniel in the Bible could face the lion and be faced with that challenge in order to please his God, Jehovah, we can, with that same blessing, face our lions in a real little way. Mindset is everything. But when you have God's power to do something, you come out always on top. And that's the message here today. I want to thank all of you for being here, supporting us. Even for those, as I posted, for those of you who have listened to us and still not clear on joining us, take that step that you need to take and know that we are 100% supporting you, no matter who you are, where you live, what you do. we're about helping you to connect and focus on what you need to do to be a better you today and for the rest of the coming years. Because there's going to be a lot of challenges. Stay aware of that. Stay awake. Thank you for joining Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We're here for you, and look for us. We're streaming on your podcast wherever you're listening.
Everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, "May I help you?" Ask yourself, "May I help?" Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, but never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Whatever you do, stay safe. We'll see you next time on Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.